So I wanted to add something to a lot of the anti-racism material that I hope many of us white folk are scouring through right now. In addition to that anti-racism education, I think a really big education that America needs is how to communicate and how to communicate effectively. It's something that I wish I had read into many years ago. So I'm gonna read, or basically recommend 3 books that I've read. I'm gonna reread. I recommend my family read them, my friends read them, my patients read them, because it's really important. One of the books is actually called Crucial Conversations. Crucial Conversations, little red book, should take you no more than a few days to a week to read. But it basically says that a conversation becomes crucial when emotions start to run high and opinions differ. And right now you can see that many of the conversations that we're all having are crucial. Emotions run hot because opinions differ. And we typically enter those conversations trying to win. And oftentimes we don't, like, you can think about it with arguments within a relationship between partners or spouses or whatever. You might be arguing to win, but you don't actually want to win. You're just arguing to defend your ego or to defend something. And the intent of the conversation and the intent to connect and come together to some meaningful solution is completely lost in the attempt to win, whatever the hell that means, in these deep conversations that we should all be having and probably are all facing inadvertently right now. So the first book is Crucial Conversations. The second book is Nonviolent Communication, and I almost rank Nonviolent Communication higher up than Crucial Conversations. It's just a little bit longer. It'll take a little bit longer for you to read. Crucial Conversations is quick. You can get that out of the way. Just know that with any of these books, just because you read them doesn't mean you just are magic at it. Getting good at conversations takes practice. I still am really good at conversations with strangers, and as soon as it becomes family or people closer to me, I've really got to bring in some strategies and really got to bring in some mindfulness to, like, what do I actually want to get out of this situation? But nonviolent communication really brought to light, one of the things that stuck with me the most about nonviolent communication is the language we use within our heads and the language that we use with other people, and how it actually misconstrues our message and doesn't actually lead to, again, a meaningful outcome, a meaningful point of connection, a meaningful compromise. So one of the things that we do is we'll say, I feel like, and you don't feel like, you feel emotions. And so one of the things that we need to recognize, especially as white people, is I feel defensive because I think that, not I feel like you're being a dick or I feel like I'm not racist. No, I feel defensive, I feel threatened, I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel emotion because I think whatever storyline that I'm thinking, right? And one of the things nonviolent communication really got across is, how do you actually communicate non-violently? And violence doesn't necessarily mean physical. It means you're not putting someone down, you're not attacking verbally, you're not retreating into silence, but you're actually able to put your opinion, your piece into this shared pool of meaning. The other parties are able to put in their information into the shared pool of meaning, and then we can all digest that and come to a meaningful conclusion. So again, Crucial Conversations and Nonviolent Communication, 2 awesome books that I recommend even just to fellow colleagues who want to be able to communicate and coach their patients better and to connect with their patients better. These aren't books on manipulation, these are books on connection and trying to find common ground with people we would otherwise disagree with or find it hard to communicate with, which again happens when emotions run hot because opinions are differing. The third book that I want to recommend is Talking with Strangers, The Things We Should Know About the People We Don't Know. I believe I said that subtitle right. It's Malcolm Gladwell, so you know it's going to be a good one. Talking with Strangers basically is a full circle look at basically what happened with Sandra Bland And why did this white officer somehow turn, I believe it was over a turn signal, how did this white officer turn a small infraction into suddenly this woman is committing suicide in a jail cell? How did that turn into that? Why did all these violent police crimes that, again, are the reason we're having all these conversations right now, why are they happening? And so he looks at the Sandra Bland case and then takes it into all these other big cases with both black and white people within the United States, and how our tendency as humans to project our ideas onto things, to default to truth, to these different psychological tendencies we have as humans make us really, really bad judges of character. One example of that is that computerized artificial intelligence systems actually make more accurate decisions than judges in the courtroom. And it's because a judge has this human component and these human psychological tendencies that make them a worse judge of character than a computer. So again, this crucial conversation, this nonviolent communication, talking with a stranger maybe at a protest or on social media, you're bringing with you these biases and these psychological tendencies that you might not be aware of, and these trainings and these cultural norms that you might not be aware of, that the stranger you're talking to is bringing to the table their own unique set as well. And unless you have a set of communication skills to be able to de-escalate a crucial conversation and bring it to a point of connection and meaning, we're really just going to be running in circles. So one of the things that, I don't care what, if you're red or you're blue, you're black or you're white, the point is that we should all be anti-racist. I stand strongly on that. You can say you're not a racist, but telling me what you're not doesn't tell me what you are. We should all be anti-racist, and we should all be having these difficult conversations. And those two books, Crucial Conversations and Nonviolent Communication, are actually really great ways to begin these conversations, because it helps us learn to communicate in nonviolent, open, and kind of flourishing, transformative ways. Thank you for listening.